BYU wide receivers coach Guy Holliday has quite the job this year trying to figure out who's going to play, where they're going to play, when they're going to play. And oh, by the way, his leading receiver coming off last year, Mitch Mathews, hasn't been in camp yet. How much of a concern is that? How talented does he think this group is? I think it's talented, but he's all about earning everything. It's BYU Sports Nation All Access with receivers coach Guy Holliday. All right, Coach, the wide receivers have received a lot of attention early in camp because they might be the deepest group. How does it feel to coach such an experienced, talented group of receivers?
Before we say talented, let's just wait till we get on the field. It's really good to coach a group that's competing. I think the number one thing when I got here was we wanted to build depth, because what happens with depth is just it creates competition, and competition makes you better. That part of it is fun, but before we say we're the best group or we're the most experienced and talented, let's just wait until the first game and see what that brings, because then we'll know where we are. That's
a great coach answer. You know that, right?
I don't know if it's a great coach answer. It's just a Guy Holliday answer. I mean, it's just me being truthful. I mean, the one thing I'm always afraid of is, people overhyping. I love the expectations being high because it gives us something to shoot for, and we're not backing down. But, just everybody, let's temper the whole thought process, because we're developing, and we're going to continue to do that and work hard. I promise you this, we will when we step out on the field, though, we're going to be worth watching, and that's just my arrogance, and hopefully it breeds off on them, and we'll be ready to play. I'm not backing down from that, but today I'm not willing to say that we're the best group. We got a ways to go.
Where have your receivers improved the most from last season to now, day 4 of fall camp?
Well, I think a couple players in particular have really improved. Nick Kurtz, I think, is a lot more comfortable with where he is as a player. Devon Blackman, I mean, everybody was expecting so much from him so soon. Devon didn't know the BYU offense from any other offense, so now he's more comfortable, and confidence brings out a better player. I think Kurt Henderson has really worked really hard this summer, and he's really stepped up, and he's trying. He's not trying, but he is competing to play. But the player that I am more pleased with than anybody is Moroni, a return missionary that is, he has a chance to really help us and be special. And, as long as we can keep building, Weeksy, Josh Weeks, he's made some catches this camp. So the thing that we want to do is just compete. And if we compete and have competitive greatness, then I think we have a chance to be a really good unit. And it's a constant building process. It's a grind. We got to stay on our grind. We have to work, and we want to carry the load and say, hey, if we're good, the offense will be good. And that's just going to be our attitude, and that's. I think the attitude of the unit will reflect my attitude, and I don't expect anything but us to be great, whether it's we just have 2 players out there, if we have 10, we're going to be good, and that's what I expect from my guys.
How much more confident are you now in year 3 of the Go Fast, Go Hard offense in terms of opening up the playbook to the quarterbacks and the receivers now?
Well, I think it's like anything else. We didn't. Me coming in, I wasn't familiar with the offense. So now that I have each year a better familiarity, and Robert does a great job, and he's more familiar with us and our strengths and our weaknesses, we're growing. And now you know your players, and you have to configure your offense to your talent level. And so it takes a minute. I mean, let's be honest, before we got here, that spring we had 15 practices with them. And then you have another 20 practices before the first game, and so you really don't know your talent level of each individual player. Now after year 2, we knew, and now going into year 3, you really understand what each player can do. So you formulate your offense, which I think Coach Anad does a great job of, around the strengths of each position, and that's. Is that opening up the playbook? I think not necessarily opening up the playbook, but gearing the playbook towards your talent level, I think, is better suited.
Mitch Mathews has not participated in any full-speed drills thus far. doesn't seem to be too much of a major concern, at least the body language from Mitch and from the coaches. But how much of a concern is it for you as his coach that he has not played up to this point?
The great thing about this game is one man's junkyard is another man's gold mine. And right now, Mitch is out. And, you know, the world's not going to stop because Mitch Mathews isn't here. So we got to get ready to play. Now, I expect Mitch, when he comes back, to compete. We're not just going to give Mitch the starting job. I don't do that with anybody, and he knows that. And what it does is allows somebody else to get more reps. And then when Mitch comes back, we'll see. Mitch is very confident in himself, and that's part of being a player is really thinking that you can do it or knowing that you can do it, and that's who he is. And it's interesting to watch. Will the other players kind of concede that? If you have that, then you don't have the mentality that you want in your room. I want my players to look at Mitch when he comes back and say, oh, no, you're not getting this rep. This is my rep. You earn your right. And I know that's going to be Mitch's attitude when he comes back. And if it's not, then he's not the player that I think he is. And, you know, I've been wrong before, but just once or twice in my life.
What do you want to see from your receivers between now and game number 1? You have 24 days. What do you want to see them do the most or improve in the most?
Well, it's like anything else, and I think since I've come here, I said you better bring your lunch pail to work, you know, because we're going to compete. And so what I look for on the field is no matter what you're doing, do you go hard? Do you really want to, you know, set a standard? Don't doubt yourself. And because the thing is, if you do the wrong thing and you're going full speed, a lot of times something good will happen, and we can fix that. So from my guys, all I want to see is the highest level of competition. And I don't care who lines up in front of you. When you're really good and you know you're good, and nothing against a walk-on, freshman walk-on or a true freshman, I want my upperclassmen to walk out and say, you know what, I'm just going to destroy you. I'm going to humiliate you. And it's nothing personal. Because against Nebraska, we're all friends. But right now, you're our enemy. And my job is to destroy you and own you. And when I see that mentality, then I know we're ready.
When you talk, people get excited. I feel excited right now. You've taken that to Twitter. Will that continue throughout the season? You
know, I go through spurts. All depends on what day you catch me on. My thing with Twitter is it really lets me express myself, and I'm a very passionate person. I'm not going to say I'm energetic, but I am a competitor, and so my thing is, and if I can help somebody out there read something that inspires them, it makes them want to compete, because I believe your destiny is in your hands, and it's up to you. And I really get frustrated, whether it's a player or, you know, even a former player of my own, or maybe if it's even somebody in my family, because anytime I put something out there, I'm talking to someone. And it's just my way of saying, hey, today is a new day, and you better get after it. Because you can sit around and complain. The rest of the world don't care about your complaints. They just want to know that you're doing the best you can do. And if you can do that, then in the end, you know, that's all you can ask of yourself. And a lot of times I'm putting it out for myself to remind myself that, hey, yesterday is gone and today is all you have and tomorrow is not promised. And if sometimes I pick up on that because I'm human too. You know, I hit a lull, and, you know, like Kobe Jorgensen, I mean, that puts things in perspective that, you know, this is a game. It's a game I want to win. I want to win every play. I want to win every day. But in the end, I want to win at life. And that's what Twitter helps me remind myself that that is something that I want to accomplish.
BYU Sports Nation fully supports the Guy Holliday Twitter account and the all caps movement.
Hey, you got to have caps, because if you ever heard my voice, it's big as all get out, you know. So if I put everything in small letters like everybody else, you just won't realize how big my mouth is.
We need the emphasis.
Hey, every now and then you just got to say, today is today. And if I can't say it loud enough, I'll put it in little letters, maybe it won't mean as much to you as it does to me.
Don't forget it. Coach Holliday, BYU Sports Nation All Access, BYU Football.
Go Cougars.